This video shows us the installation of the secondary hole. To begin with, the casing is outfitted with these cutting teeth because it needs to cut into the two adjoining primary holes. The teeth, of course, get worn out and need to be replaced. This auger bit is also armored with additional cutting surfaces and cutting teeth because it too has to cut through the adjoining concrete. So this is quite different from the bucket that was used in the primary hole, which just removed the soft material. Here the drill has engaged the casing, and the casing is being rotated to cut its way through the two adjoining shafts of concrete. The auger has gone down in the hole. It appears to be making its final pass just prior to filling the casing with concrete. You can see it's come up with this odd-looking mixture, which is ground-up concrete plus whatever native soil was in the hole. You can see on the left the foreman is checking the depth to make sure he's down where he wants to be. Looks like he still wants a little more cleaning out to be done. Of course, ongoing cleanup is a must, and they are also now cleaning up that space so that the concrete can be brought in. Now at first I couldn't figure out what was happening here. He's drilling the auger into the soft ground. I couldn't imagine what that was about until finally he came and disconnected the auger. So this is just a very simple way of getting the auger out of the way. He just buries it in the ground, and of course, because it's in its upright position, he can come right back and reconnect. Now the secondary hole gets an H-pile inserted in it, and that's what really gives the wall its strength. because an unreinforced concrete wall might be watertight, but really would not have adequate capacity in bending. So that capacity comes out of these H-piles, which go into every other hole, which are the secondary holes. The rig, you see this one rig is doing all the work. It has two little jibs on the top. One is handling the drill and the other has picked up the H-pile. And the rig has such a low center of gravity that it can actually walk with these two loads hanging from it. You can see those horizontal bars. They've been welded onto the H-pile just to keep it more or less centered in the casing. Now this is a little clever move. The H-pile is hanging from a hook, but it would be very difficult to unhook it once it was set down in the hole. So it comes to rest temporarily on that horizontal rod, and the hook is now disconnected. So the load is, that's a shackle, not a hook. The load is now being carried by that bar, and now it's being transferred onto a quick release shackle. Now you wouldn't want to handle the piece using this quick release shackle, but once it's down in the hole and it cannot come loose, it cannot do any harm, then it's perfectly safe to transfer the load onto this device, and that's what they're doing here. Now they're able to lower it all the way in the hole. Yanks on that, and the jaws come open. Now the H-pile is in place. Again, the concrete truck is right there. You don't want to waste any time. You want to begin filling this with concrete as soon as possible to keep material from infiltrating at the bottom of the casing. Now, this was a very interesting touch. The foreman has called the rig to come back, and he's going to seat the H-pile. So he's using this as a ram, and he's just tapping on the H-pile to make sure it's seated. And this, I think, is just a very skillful foreman who knows what needs to be done. They've also brought over this hopper, and they're placing it in the casing. You want the concrete to come down in the center of the casing, otherwise it's going to push that H-pile to one side or the other. So this way the flow of concrete is coming down the middle. It should be distributed evenly over the H-pile. And now they're filling the casing with concrete. That concludes our video. Please continue with the final portion of the lecture.